Good evening and welcome to a breaking weather alert from the Florida Weather Watch desk. My name is Daniel, and this evening I'm going to be focusing on the potential major tornado outbreak for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas coming tomorrow night. Before I continue, please make sure that you hit that subscribe button below. Many of you that are watching my videos are not yet subscribed, so please hit that subscribe button below. Turn on notifications so that when there's breaking weather alerts just like this one, you will be notified of it as well. And please hit that like button. That would greatly help grow this channel and get this video out to more people. So even though I am the owner of the Florida Weather Watch and of the Florida Weather Watch Facebook page, and my focus is on the state of Florida, this is a very significant severe weather event that will occur close enough to Florida that I think it's worthy of a full-on forecasting video. Uh, as well as some analysis, especially since many folks in Florida may have friends and family that live in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. So, for those of you that know of anyone that lives in Arkansas, Louisiana, or Mississippi, please, please, please share this video with them. Let them know what's coming to them tomorrow night, because tomorrow night looks like a very dangerous night ahead for Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. So let's get right into the action. Let's get right into what's going to occur. And what the first view I'm going to show you is from the Storm Prediction Center site itself. This is their severe weather outlook. And these colors represent different chances for severe weather. The first of which is going to be this darker green color. This darker green color is a marginal risk for severe weather, which means that you could look at it as a 1 out of 5 chance for a severe thunderstorm to occur in that area. Okay. Then what you're going to notice is we have even more colors. Then we get into the yellows, which is a slight risk here. And at that point, you have a 2 out of 5 chance on the severe weather scale, or a 40% chance for severe thunderstorms in this area. Now, if that wasn't enough, we're going to be getting to a even higher color, the orange colors here, which is for enhanced risk for severe weather, which is a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which means now we're getting to the point where there is a high likelihood of severe thunderstorms and potentially tornadoes in those areas in orange. And that's where the real worry and the real concern occurs, is when you start getting into these orange colors on the severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. That's when they have high confidence that there will be severe weather outbreak going on. And that's 3 out of 5, which is 60% chance. But folks, this is where I'm scared for tomorrow night. It's not often that I say this, and most times when I'm forecasting, I do want to make sure that I am coming across as uh, level-headed and calm. But for the folks in this area that are in this red circle, for southeastern Arkansas, for northwestern Louisiana and western Mississippi, it's looking very, very concerning for potential for not just tornadoes, but tornadoes that could be very strong and long-lived tornadoes tomorrow night. Uh, when you get these red colors on this outlook, and the Storm Prediction Center does not often issue a moderate risk for severe weather, you're looking at 80% chance of severe thunderstorms, possibly devastating tornadoes, insane amounts of wind damage, and very large hail at times. But tomorrow night's risk is for tornadoes. That is the primary risk for tomorrow night. And I'm going to keep this on the screen right now as I go to what is the tornado outlook. So what I want to do here is I want to keep keep these colors on here. And what I want you to notice here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle this yellow area right here. Okay. And I want you to notice when I go ahead and change this over to the tornado outlook, look at where the tornado risk is tomorrow night. Okay. This is where your tornado risk is for tomorrow night. And it kind of correlates with the severe weather outlook that the Storm Prediction Center issues. And I want you to notice there is a different outlook here. When you see this black line here that has these hash marks, these dashes to it, what that means is you are looking at, in this area right here, you are looking at the potential for EF2. Okay, you're looking at the potential for EF2 tornadoes and above. Okay, EF2 tornadoes, ladies and gentlemen, are enough to destroy homes. And many times they leave behind irreparable damage. Uh, and in this area, this is a very large area for this to occur here with these EF2 possible tornadoes. It extends from pretty much 75% of Arkansas, so nearly all of eastern Arkansas, into western Tennessee, even tomorrow. Mississippi, much of much of western going into eastern Mississippi, and nearly all of northern Louisiana is under the risk for EF2 tornadoes and above tomorrow night. It is a large area. It's going to impact many people. And as I scroll down to the bottom here, it could actually show you that the area's population for the significant severe tornadoes tomorrow night is an area of 6 million plus people. So we're looking at actually, if we include all of the tornado risks, up to 2% risk, which is that green area, up to 11.3, maybe 11.4 million people are under the risk for tornadoes tomorrow night. And that is a huge area. But the biggest concern are these 1.6 million people that are in this red circle here tomorrow night. And I'm going to show you exactly why that is. Okay, so now that I've looked at the outlooks, let's look at why this is happening, folks. The first thing that I want to show you is the current temperatures. Let me go ahead and refresh this so that it's got the current temperatures in this area. And again, our area that we're looking at here, our area of concern for these tornadoes is going to be this area right here. Okay. So this area is our real concern area for tornadoes. And I'm going to leave that box on this screen for the next view that I'm going to show you. Okay. So you're looking at temperatures currently uncharacteristically warm for this time of the year. This time of the year in this area, normally the temperatures would be in the low 70s. You're looking at temperatures in the mid 80s. Even a spot here in near Shreveport, Louisiana, of 85 degrees right now. That is plenty warm for thunderstorms to form. Now, it's not enough to just have the temperatures and the heat. You also have to have the moisture and the humidity in the atmosphere. And when I go ahead and I switch over to the dew point temperatures, And again, I'm going to leave that box on the screen here. Well, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. You are seeing that in the same area where there's much more heat and building, you have high dew points. Anytime you see dew points in the 60s, and even take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, down here in the Gulf of Mexico, you are seeing that here in the Gulf of Mexico, you're seeing down here some dew points in the 70s. That is definitely moist air. And that puts into place the energy that's needed in the atmosphere for thunderstorms to form. And one thing that I want you to note here is actually when I go ahead and I bring you back to this view. Actually, this view is better for it. What we have going on right now is we are having a cold front that is draped across the area here. Dew point temperatures are a very easy way to be able to tell where cold fronts are. And these lower values here, these brown colors, this drier air here, right here, this is behind the cold front. Right here is ahead of the cold front, where you're having all this humidity, all this moisture start streaming up into the area here. Okay, so you're going to start noticing that you have all this heat, all this humidity starting to come in from the Gulf of Mexico out ahead of this cold front that is starting to move across Texas here. And actually, you can kind of see a kind of a secondary boundary kind of right here of lower dew points here, higher dew points here. So the energy is building, folks, in this area. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking a look with you with the computer forecast models. And they are quite concerning. The first view I'm going to show you is what's called the NAM 3 kilometer. And what this is a North American model in the finest detail possible. Normally, I would be showing you the GFS, which is a global forecasting model, or the ECMWF, which is the European model, but they don't have the same resolution as this model does for severe weather. So that's why I prefer to use this model a lot more, the NAM 3 kilometer, when it comes to very short-term, right in near future severe weather. So the timestamps at the top are going to be kind of difficult for you to understand. So I'm going to walk you through it because this is in universal time. So what this view is showing us is the amount of instability in the atmosphere. How much energy there is in the atmosphere and how unstable it is. And the brighter these colors are, the more energy there is. And pardon me. When you look at these colors, anything that is in blue or higher is enough energy for thunderstorms. When you start getting into the yellows and the reds and even sometimes the purples here, that's like jet fuel for severe thunderstorms. So what's going to happen is as I move this through time, again, we're going to be watching the area. Let me put my box on this area right here again. Let's not do it in blue because the colors are blue on this map. Let's go ahead and do it in black right here. So this is the area where the most significant risk for tornadoes is. Okay, so I want you to watch this area as I get through into what's going to be ending up saying Saturday up here. But Saturday, like 0Z time, is Friday 7 p.m. No, 8 p.m. I forgot now that we're back in daylight savings time again. Friday at 8 p.m. So if it says Saturday up here, but it says 0Z up here, that is Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So as I go ahead and step this through time, and we go into, I'm going to go ahead and speed through lots of energy building out ahead of this. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed through into that overnight period. Okay. Now this is where you're watching here. Watch as I get through. So this is Friday at 20Z. So when we look at Friday at 20Z, Friday at 20Z would be 4 p.m. in the afternoon, our time. And I want you to notice, look at all of this energy building in the Gulf of Mexico and starting to propagate northward here. So this is where we're starting to see some of that moisture, some of that energy start to really come through up from the Gulf of Mexico and into these areas. And watch as I continue through time here. Okay, let me go back. Why is my computer being special? Okay, and watch as it builds through, the energy starts surging, and then as we get through the night, the energy is going to be there the entire night. You can see even some of these dots right here where there could be some of the stronger thunderstorms here of higher energy. So there's plenty of energy, plenty of heat, plenty of humidity. Okay? 3 boxes checked off. Warm temperatures, high moisture in the atmosphere, and available energy and instability atmosphere. There's one other thing we look at to see whether or not we're going to have tornadoes, and that's wind shear. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cancel this out, and we're going to go on to the wind shear, or something that's called bulk shear. Okay, this bulk shear sounds weird, but what happens is between the surface here, okay, between the surface and the upper atmosphere here, whatever the differences are in the wind speeds and the directions of the wind is called wind shear. So let's say you have winds at 10 miles an hour right here at the surface, but then at the top of the atmosphere, let's say you have winds of 100 miles per hour, your wind shear is going to be 90 miles per hour. It's that difference between the two. And what we look for is these brighter colors. And again, what I want you to notice, so we're looking for brighter colors here. The brighter the color, the more wind shear. The more wind shear, the more turning that there could be in the atmosphere. And again, I'm going to put our box on here to show you. Okay. So when we go ahead and look at this, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to be looking for the timestamp here of Saturday at 0Z for this to coincide. So again, I'm going to go ahead and speed through this. And then watch as we go through time. That wind shear really picks up over Oklahoma. And it starts propagating, starts moving towards our area where there could be severe thunderstorms. So that by tomorrow night at 0Z, 0Z, look at this. Wind shear is now coming into the picture. Now, it's not just enough to have wind shear. It also depends on the direction of the wind shear. And if you see these barbs here, these flags, that means that the wind shear is going to be coming from this. Nope, not what I wanted. Okay. It's going to be coming from this direction. Wherever the flag is pointing is the direction of the wind shear. So this is at the upper levels of the atmosphere. Okay. So you have strong wind shear in the upper levels. Okay. So this is the upper level wind. Okay. Now what's happening at the surface, remember what I showed you, ladies and gentlemen, is at the surface here, I'm going to represent this in yellow here. At the surface, our winds are coming from the south here. Okay. So when these winds are colliding here, and I'm going to go ahead and represent that here, this is at the lower levels. Okay. What's happening is that with these directions here, you are going to have rotation in these storms. these storms are going to start spinning because the winds are coming atop this way, but they're coming up at the top. But up here at the surface, they're coming in from this direction. Okay. So the storm itself is going to tilt and it's going to start rotating. So that's why when we look at this and the angles of the winds here, I'm very worried for tornadoes in this area. And as I continue through time here, okay, the wind shear remains in the same direction as the lower level winds remain in the same direction all night long. Okay. So, and the wind shear actually starts intensify throughout the night here. So there's going to be plenty of energy, plenty of instability, plenty of humidity, and there's going to be the turning of winds with height. So what all that means is that tornadoes are likely to occur within that boxed region tomorrow night, starting at it's going to be a late night event. It's probably not going to start until about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and then it's going to move on from there. Now, a couple other views I want to show you today, before I go ahead and start closing this out, is something called the Supercell Composite Index. And what this tells us is um, the computer forecast models, what they do is they take all the fancy calculus, all the fancy algorithms, smash them together, and assign an index rating. And that index rating tells us what are the chances, based upon all of the conditions in the atmosphere, of us seeing supercell thunderstorms. These are the thunderstorms that are capable of producing tornadoes. Not all supercells do. Some supercells produce golf ball, baseball size hail. Some supercell thunderstorms will produce hurricane force wind gusts. But they have the capability, given the right conditions, to create tornadoes. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put my box here. Okay. Right here. These are the areas under the gun for the tornadoes tomorrow. And again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move this through time here. And then as we get into the overnight hours, look at that start to build. That's tomorrow afternoon. That is tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then bada boom. Overnight, that's 8. This is actually 8 p.m. Tomorrow night. And then it builds in this area. So there is the potential risk for supercell thunderstorms within this area. And it eventually will propagate into Mississippi in the early morning hours on Saturday. So that's one thing right there. And then what I want to show you too is something very unique. And I'm going to show you a different model for this. And it's called the storm relative helicity. And what that tells us is where are the where's the best rotation in the atmosphere? Where's going to be the most spin in the atmosphere? And what we look for tornadoes is not necessarily these blue colors, but starting in these yellows in here. Okay, and watch as I set this through time. Okay, watch. Boom. Intense thunderstorms building tomorrow afternoon over Oklahoma. And then watch as we hit the overnight hours. Overnight hours into Friday. And then there we go. Big, very discrete line of very strong thunderstorms. Lots of rotation, lots of energy, building in Arkansas to northern Louisiana. Some of these values are off the charts here. Like we're looking at 628 meters squared per second squared. And what this value tells you is there's going to be a lot of rotating storms in this line of thunderstorms that's going to build. And with this amount of rotation, you're going to have very strong potential for tornadoes. And as I go ahead and I go show you the significant tornado parameters, according to this high resolution model, This is where you're going to see the potential for those long track, very strong tornadoes. Look at this tomorrow night. There's your significant tornado parameter right there. Definitely enough of a reading there for there to be a very high risk for tornadoes. And then it dies off towards the early morning hours. Um, and then this is what the radar could look like as well. So watch this. Watch as I move through time here. Boom. There are your tornadic thunderstorms forming over northern Louisiana, into Arkansas. You can kind of see the cold front right here, this line of thunderstorms, and these are storms that build out ahead of it. Big time thunderstorms, big time severe weather happening tomorrow night over these areas of uh, Louisiana, Mississippi, in Arkansas. Please make sure that you share this video out uh, with all of your friends and family that you do have in these areas, because tomorrow night could be a very dangerous night. And again, this happening at night. Nocturnal tornadoes are the deadliest tornadoes that are out there. The reason being, most people are asleep in the dead of night. Makes sense. Okay. But even more powerful is the fact that you cannot see the tornadoes unless there's lightning everywhere happening. And that doesn't always happen with these tornadoes. And there's very little warning that happens with these tornadoes. So tomorrow night could potentially be a deadly night as well in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. Um, I will be praying for those folks tomorrow night uh, as this severe weather event will unfold. There is a potential. I will announce it. I will make a decision tomorrow morning, but there's a potential that I may try my first ever live stream tomorrow night covering these severe storms and these tornadoes. Um, but I will make that determination announcement tomorrow morning. So again, please, please, please share this out with all of your friends and family that may live in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas, as they need to be weather alert and tornado alert tomorrow night, with the potential for some very strong tornadoes, some deadly tornadoes happening, probably starting. We're going to be looking at about the 8 to 10 p.m. range when the thunderstorms will really kick off at night, when that cold front really bumps up against all that energy in the atmosphere, um, and lasting all the way through into the early Saturday morning hours um, for that to occur. So before I close out this video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, that like button, and please leave your comments and your questions down below in the comments, please. I will be glad to read them, take a look at them, answer your questions and your concerns. Thank you again for all the support that I've had so far. And as my great late cross-country coach, Jim Richardson, would always tell me, there'll be weather, whether or not. But no matter what the weather will be, even severe, I'll be here. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you again very soon.